My lovely friends, good to see you again. Are we live? Check. Test, test, test. Let me see if you guys are here. I think we're live. Let me see. Yes. What's happening, my G's? Welcome back. Good to see you, Carl. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Welcome back to the live stream, episode 11 of the new live day trading stream, 5 days a week by Lorenzo, Corrado, by Gold and NQ. Looking forward to go over the session here. We're going to cover yesterday's trade at the end, what happened actually after our live stream. We're going to cover the dollar. We're going to cover gold in the higher time frame. We have a lot of things to cover today. I hope you guys are doing well here. Let me check the chat. I think we're good. Priya, my G, good to see you. Yeah, Thorsten, good to see you. Hey, press a 1 in the chat, all right, if you guys want some music to kick off the stream. Yo, you know that we cannot rock and roll without the music, right? On this live stream, we cannot start properly without a banger of a tune. You guys understand how we rock and roll here right now, right? We have everything ready. The order flow is ready. The charts are ready. The higher time frame on gold is ready. We have the ebook as well ready. We have everything ready. So let me get this party started here. Also, if you appreciate what we do here live on the streams, then I highly appreciate it if you could smash up that like button here. Yesterday, we broke our record of 600 likes. That was a massive stream yesterday, all right? We got around, what, 20,000 views on the stream? Told you guys, 10 episodes in, man, and we're back in the game, all right? I appreciate all of you. I think it's time to get the party started. What do you guys think? Yes, sir! G's, welcome back, baby. Good to see you all. Lovely to meet you guys. For all the new people that joined us yesterday, welcome to the live streams. We do this on a daily basis here. My goal is to help you out with Goldie. All right, let's see what the market gave us today, or what the market will give us today. What the market actually gave us yesterday. All right, we're going to go over that as well here. A big shout out to the guys in the chat here. The best chat in my opinion. Goldfinger, Mr. Justin FX. Good to see you. John Sparks, the man himself. Shipley. 198. Tigers Group 381. Boom, boom. I like the word boom. It's my favorite word. Ali Rezo. MC. What's happening, my G? All right. Fantastic, guys. It's time to get back to work here. Let's go over the market. Let's talk about everything that happened. We have been ranging on gold right now, but there are definitely some interesting layers today. I'm definitely leaning more towards a bullish bias at this current moment. I will go over the reasoning. Yesterday, of course, we saw the huge sell-off and that massive quote-unquote recovery. A bit hectic, of course, during the New York session yesterday, but yeah, we're gonna go over this. And let's talk exactly what has been happening right there, because yeah, man, gold is just in a range pretty much right now. But I do have some entries of which I'm looking forward to, some limit entries somewhere down here. Okay, we'll go over that in a second. But anyways, guys, let's talk about what we talked about yesterday at the end of the stream. Did you guys follow up with what we talked about yesterday? The that limit entry, or these two actually limit entries, I could better say here. I think it was quite an important one. Right after the stream, we were very patient. And whenever people say, hey, price, it will never come back to your entry. Guess what, my friends? Price can definitely come back to our entries if we're patient enough to wait for the right entries, right? And that's something that we always have to imagine or understand in this game, that pullbacks are always there. There are always going to be pullbacks, especially in these reversal patterns on the higher time frame, right? There are always going to be pullbacks on the lower time frame here. So that is obviously kind of important to take in consideration right now. So let's go over that here, because yesterday we talked about a couple of levels. We talked about the following. Let's go over this right here. We had price pushing up here in the 5-minute time frame. Then we said, okay, we want to look at a bottom somewhere around what, the 4407 and the 4382 with our stop loss at 4335. And price did came down. It came down a little bit deeper. Okay, it did go down a little bit deeper, but that's kind of like hard to predict, especially late on when the volume suddenly comes into play here. And guess what happens, man? Always when I close the freaking stream, okay, when I close the freaking stream at the end, the volume suddenly comes in. I literally closed the stream yesterday and I saw the volume coming in. Absolutely madness. But anyways, we had our 4407 level yesterday, and then we had our 4382. So let's see what actually happened after that. The price came down right here, right? It was around this area. Let me just quickly remove this right now. Let me just make sure that we have that full screen right there. We were roughly speaking here when we closed the stream. We had our 4407, which was right around here. It was actually a little bit higher, right around here. And then we had our 82 right around there, right? So we did come down a little bit lower. Our stop loss was as 35. Right around there. So price did came down a bit lower. It came back towards the point of control of that swing that we talked about right here, right? And this is all, of course, in our ebook. We talked about how to use the volume profile and how we can mark out the swing high, the swing low, and get our level here. You could see how it supported or how it came back as a support. And yeah, we got an average entry roughly speaking, around about there in the middle. And I think that we came down a bit, but in the end, we did came up around 82 points. 82 points from our entry before we came down again, right? And we ended actually the day still on around our entry as well here. So yeah, this was all about managing our position well, right? Managing our profit here. Yes, I do have profit targets in mind. Like I had, like, for example, the daily highs in mind. But again, of course, you have to manage the trade accordingly. And yeah, this is something that just is something that I cannot really teach you off stream. Of course, this is something that's also in your own hands that you kind of have to control here. But it was an 82 pip move here, a little bit of drawdown, but stop loss was clear and was very well placed. We knew there was major buying here regardless, and that we would find it undervaluation as well around that period, right? So on the 5-minute, we were heavily undervalued. Okay, so let me just clean this up here. We were heavily undervalued here on the 5-minute time frame, and every time we were undervalued again, you see what happened, guys? We were undervalued And what happened? Let me know in the chat what happened, because, you know, you guys have to really take this valuation thing seriously. I'm telling you, I keep telling you it over and over again, okay? The valuation here, undervalued right here, undervalued right here against the 10-year yield and the dollar, undervalued right here, right? This was the entry speaking, undervalued as well here. You do see bounces, okay? You do see bounces, all right? I just want to make sure that you understand that. Usually when you're undervalued, especially when you're trending back up again, you do see pretty solid bounces here. It doesn't necessarily mean that we have follow through or that the trend continues to go up, but you have at least an opportunity to get into a position and to manage your trade accordingly, okay? And this was no different as well here post stream when we talked about that area, okay? JMU says 802 pips, Lorenzo, not 82 pips. I said 82 points on futures. It could be around 820 pips indeed on spot if that would have been the move right there. Okay, but anyways, I hope this makes sense for you guys here. Did you guys understand why I was looking for an entry right there? Let me know in the chat, please. Type in a yes or something. So we are all kind of aligned there, okay? Because we use the same system, right? And this is why patience is so important, because I do believe that patience will definitely help us with finding good entries, or at least the best possible entries at this current moment, okay? Or at each current moment. So we're not really chasing the market. We're waiting patiently for the market to come to us. And I usually notice that even when I'm wrong, okay, either like I'm, you know, completely wrong because I'm completely invalidated, right? Price then continues to drop lower and lower and lower and lower if I would be bullish. Or at least I get the opportunity to manage the trade because we're not chasing. We at least see some sort of bounce. Yeah, then it's up to you to how do you then actually manage the trade here. So I think along the way, along this journey together in the streams, I think the understanding of how we manage a position is absolutely critical, and I think this is where we will learn a lot for in the upcoming live streams as well, right? Just to see how can I manage my position well. And also this is something that I'm always trying to optimize better, right? Because yes, sometimes even for me right now still, and this is something I'm still learning, I'm still trying to get better at it, is I'm trying to not be as greedy when the market conditions are very unstable, okay? Because it's so easy to be in profit and then somehow your brain tricks you of thinking, right? Your brain tricks you of believing that, oh, we are in profit right now, so, you know, this trade is gonna go to the moon. And then you just are mentally unable to close the trade. Who recognizes this? Who recognizes this? It's an absolute madman. It's very hard to manage a trade when you are in profit, because in the end that means simply that if you are in profit that you will never close your position, okay? And if you are in a loss, you will never close your position either, because you hope that price will return or you hope that price will pull back, whatever the case may be, right? So it's all about finding that balance and finding the right entries, and then also not being greedy at the right moments in the market. Sometimes you should be greedy, okay? But it also depends on how the market is set up, what the current market condition is, okay? So when we are dropping aggressively on gold, and I'm talking about an aggressive push down, and we pull back, right? We can be super greedy and expect price to completely flip, and oh, I have the bottom, but 9 out of 10 times you don't have the bottom, okay? You do not catch the bottom. 9 out of 10 times price comes down, you get a big move here of like 880 points, and then price comes down again, and maybe again, and then it makes the move when you least expect it, right? So it's all about not being greedy in a downtrend, especially when you're trading counter trend, to not be obsessively attached to your position, okay? Taking profits, in my opinion, is key, or closing your position is key, okay? Now, if you are in a strong, aggressive trend to the upside and we pull back, yeah, different story. But that's not the case right now. That's not the case at this current moment, okay? So we have to be a little bit more precise, with our entries, and also a little bit more precise with our exits, not being too greedy here. Take whatever we can get from the market, okay? So that was yesterday's trade here. Now I'm going to do a top-down analysis with you guys here, and then we're going to go over all the macro layers. Of course, we're also going to talk about some of the other things that we have been looking at, right? What is the rest of the market doing? Oil is looking pretty strong today, okay? So oil is actually holding up pretty well on the lower time frame, as you can see here. So if oil is pushing up here, usually in this current market condition, that is not necessarily really good for gold. So I do want you to see that, take that in consideration a little bit. Oil is kind of recovering here. Okay, the 4 hour looks pretty decent to me right now as well. If you look at the 4 hour on oil, you know, we found that bottom. We have these strong bottom wicks here and pushing up higher. So that is definitely something that we have to take a look at. The daily time frame, however, will face strong resistance very soon here. Okay, so don't get tricked into believe that this is the bottom, because the higher time frame is definitely showing some key areas of resistance that we still have to break. So that is the positive side of gold here. We are in resistance on the higher time frame on things like oil, for example. Okay, then we have the dollar. The dollar is very similar than to oil. It moves almost identical. It's actually crazy. If you look here at the dollar and you look at oil, it is very similar the way it has been moving right now. And you can actually see that we are also facing some downside pressure on the dollar. The dollar is not looking weak on the lower time frame at the moment either, but it's not looking strong. I would give it a neutral reading, just because the lower time frame is kind of bouncing, but the higher time frame, yeah, is definitely very compressed. It's very struggling to push and make these higher highs here. And of course, after yesterday, we saw that huge closure, and we will find major resistance again up at the 99.5. Okay, so this is a major level that we have closed below, and it will be a major area of resistance if we do manage to push back up again here. Okay, so that is kind of the most important layer. Then we have the 10-year yield as well, very similar to the dollar, a bit stronger, but at the same time we're kind of in that resistance on the higher time frame as well here. So if we take this all in consideration and we move down to gold right now, yeah, then we can clearly see at the moment, guys, that we are finding that support here, right? We can see that very clearly that we have found daily support right here, right there. We closed actually the daily candle above the 4,360. And now we're kind of seeing a, and kind of a neutral daily candle, right? A more bullish neutral daily candle as the second wick that is being formed here. So it's very interesting to see this, because in my opinion right now, you can actually see that this bounce is very important for us. Okay, so this is not an area where I feel extremely comfortable shorting at. Okay, I hope that makes sense here, because you can see that the higher time frame resistance on most of the instruments right now, like oil, dollar, yield, you know, yes, we are bouncing today, but we find higher time frame resistance as well. And at the same time, gold is finding that support. Okay, I just want to make sure that you are aware of this. We are also on the daily time frame severely undervalued against the 10-year yield, and of course also against the dollar as well here. Okay, so every time we're undervalued, we do usually set in a bottom also on the daily time frame. Okay, I just want to make sure that you are aware of this. And this is something that we have been seeing right now as well here. We are undervalued, so this is also an important factor. But of course, this can take a little bit more time, right? So that doesn't mean that we're going to look for longs and we're going to hold it till the moon, because you don't really know if there is going to be that follow through. Okay, now on the seasonal aspect, you can also see that we are in a cycle bottom here. We talked about this yesterday on the stream very explicitly. We explained why we utilize this and why this is so important as well here. So overall, I do see potential in gold bouncing today, but we're not going to chase the market down. I'm definitely going to look for pullback scenarios again and see from there. Okay, now I just want to make sure that you understand as well the order flow side of things here. So I'm going to start on the daily. How did we actually close the daily candle from an order flow perspective, and how did we open up the daily candle right around here? Okay, so this was yesterday's daily candle, and what you want to see here is the amount of volume below here. 327,000 contracts were traded yesterday on gold. This is one of the largest candles that I've seen here, okay, in terms of volume in months, okay, in months. And it makes a lot of sense when you drop around 10% and then come back around 9 or 8% right here, okay? Absolute madness, but that's what you're seeing here. So in the candle itself, you see that a lot of sellers are stuck in their position right now. They're all on the water. This is actually more bullish as well, the fact that we're seeing more sellers entering during the Asia session and the London session, and that buyers are stepping in above these sellers, okay? So where it's green, there are more buyers than sellers, and where it's red, there are more sellers than buyers in this daily candle right here, okay? So there are more sellers trapped underneath, and buyers came in above these sellers, which shows me right now that we have some buying pressure with some trapped sellers on the daily candle right here. Okay, so this is what you actually see behind the scenes in this wick on the daily candle right now. Now, at the same time, you can see that yesterday's volume was traded, the most volume was traded around the 4,400 right here. We're currently trading above the 4,400, okay? So that also means that we're trading above the point of control of yesterday as well here. We are trading above some critical levels right now here as well. So all in all, we are seeing currently some sellers coming in above right here, but we are getting respected because the candle itself is not necessarily pushing down here. So sellers are trying to push price down here, but at this current moment in the market, guys, they are failing. They are failing to do so, okay? Now on the 4 hour, this box that I marked out was a box where we saw a lot of selling here. This happened in the Asian session, but then boom, price shoot up again. That means that right now, all the trapped sellers from today that you saw on the daily candle are actually sitting right there on the 4 hour candle. Okay, so we're going to push up higher. And now we're seeing a reaction right around there. And that's actually very, very interesting. Now, the beautiful news here I have for you guys is that I actually had a conversation with the Xau charts, all right? They reached out and they said, yo, live streams, incredible. We really like it. We are willing to give you guys some giveaway promos, okay? So that means that I will be able very soon to give away some free access to this platform right here with the Xau charts for you guys. So that means I will be able to do some giveaways and actually give you guys some free access to this platform if you are interested in learning about order flow around, of course, in this case, gold, of course, as well. In case you trade something else, you can also trade thank you, whatever you want. But in this case, of course, for us on the streams, it's usually gold right around there, okay? So that's good news, man. We're getting noticed. We're getting noticed, okay? It is coming. It is coming. You just have to trust the process and then everything will be fine. All right. Anyways, that is the current story of the order flow right now. Buyers are in control, in my opinion. Sellers are trapped. Okay, so it's all about, for me now, finding the right pullbacks, finding the right entries, and not chase the market down. That is the idea here. Okay, so we're going to bring this back to the lower time frame. And we're going to now mark out the actual intraday, or actually the lower time frame, and we're going to look at the key levels here that I'm interested in right now at the moment here. What are some of the levels that I'm actually curious about or interested in right here? I see a couple of levels. Okay, I see a couple of ranges that I will mark out. I want to mark out a range right around here. I think this is very interesting. I also believe that marking out yesterday's range with the volume profile is also going to be important. And the reason why is because we're trading within this range. We're trading within yesterday's range. We have the low and the high right around there. Okay. So what we're going to do, we're going to use the volume profile from the top to the bottom here. And we're going to mark it out. So from the left to the right, from 6 p.m. All right, to 6 p.m. New York time, EST right here. And we're going to look at some levels that I think are going to be very important here. The point of control is, of course, at 44.10. I think that's a bit too high for now. But we will have a look at it in a second here. We do have the previous daily value area low at 43.09 on the 5-minute time frame. This is where we bounced from. You see that? You see how important these levels are? We actually bounced from the previous daily value low during the Asian session today. Okay, so we did see support at the previous daily value low here, and that was actually the bottom of the day here. So we did bounce from an amazing level right around here. Okay, then I want to mark out that same range from yesterday, from the top to the bottom. We have our swing profile as well here. We're going to mark out a swing level. That is the level from yesterday. We know how important this level is because we have been bouncing from this level already, but for the past day, right? So we know how important the 43.50 is right now for us as well here. Okay. Now, if you want to learn about the volume profile, I've written a book for you for free here. You can go to the section volume analysis right around there. And then you can look at the daily volume profile. And this is where we talk about the previous daily volume profiles, right? So if you have a daily range, then we have something like this. Look how similar the price action actually looks like right now to what we have here in the book. Okay. This is on page number 41, right around here. Look how similar this actual range is. Okay. So this is something that you could utilize when you're trading in a previous daily range right? We utilized the volume of yesterday to understand where has the most volume been executed. So automatically, where has the most interest been executed, right? Where is the most interest from the institutional traders, right? That's kind of the thought process right here. So what I'm looking forward to right now is to see if you could, if you kind of can pull back here, okay? I do expect a pullback. I think that oil is looking relatively strong on the lower time frame. The dollar is also trying to push up a little bit as well here, as you can see. Oil is trying to push up here. So don't rush into longs right now on gold. You'll most likely get trapped right around here. Okay, that's my personal opinion here. In this case, I'm not going to go to the 5 minute. Okay, I don't really like the undervaluation on the 5 minute right now. I prefer to look at the 15 minute undervaluation. Okay, so I'll wait for the 15 minute to be undervalued, and then I will be probably looking at some bounce setups here. That's why I'm curious to see which levels it's going to be. Is it going to be the 4356, which is an important level, of course, or is it going to be the lower levels? But I think that we might have something around the 4356, the 4361, something around that level here. Okay. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go to gold right now on the Orderflow chart. And I'm going to mark it out right here. And I'm going to see on the 15 minute. Let's see what we have here. Where a lot of selling right now. You see that? A lot of sellers are coming in here. This is some serious aggressive selling here. In an area where we got rejected already multiple times, as you can see right there. So that is very important. But yeah, I think that we have to drop down a bit lower here. What did we talk about? What levels were we actually talking about? We were talking about the 4356, right? The 4356. Let's go to the hourly here. The 4356. Yeah, roughly speaking, around there. Okay, roughly speaking, around there. This is definitely an important level. Right around there here. Let's see what the hourly gives us right there. Yeah, that's an important level here. We're seeing a lot of sellers right here being trapped in their position. And this is where we also saw a strong expansion from. Okay, so this is where buyers took control. In this candle right here, you can see a lot of selling and then an immediate push into the sellers and then an expansion. So I do like this zone, and it aligns exactly with our 4356 level. So that's why I want to mark out this level right now and pay attention to the point of control of the previous swing high to swing low here. Okay, we talk about everything from the swing high to swing low, the daily. It's all in the book. You can actually find this very, very easily. But yeah, the dollar is still respected. It's still holding back really well. We're just going to pay attention to, how price responds around the 4356. I think it's a great level to look at. Yeah, right now at the moment. But it's all about what happens on the lower time frame, right? Are we undervalued? Are we potentially seeing some bullish momentum? Are buyers willing to step in here, right? That is kind of what we're going to do today. So I'm also going to be waiting for some sort of reaction from any of these levels right there. And then go to the lower time frame and see if you can actually get into confirmation. Right around there here, okay? Are we on the same page, my guys? Let me know in the chat here. All right, if you have some other feedback, also just drop it in the chat here. We are here to learn, right? We are here to evolve, to get better. And if you like this free education, okay, that we're doing here on a daily basis, because it's all just free education, then I highly recommend you, or I really would like you actually to smash up this like button right now on this video, because it really helps me grow, of course, this channel here. You guys can see the momentum. It's going crazy, and it's all because of you guys. And we have an incredible chat, guys that have no ego here, that are all willing to learn, that are doing the absolute best here. And not a couple guys that are, trying to be cool, they're trying to be better than other guys in the chat. That's not gonna bring you anywhere in life, okay? It's all about building each other up, not building each other down right now, okay? Let's make that happen. And let's keep it like that, because that's the only way we can learn and we can grow as traders. And if that happens, I'm more than willing to be here every day and just, come here a couple hours and just do my thing. And hopefully inspire you to build an amazing trading system for yourself as well here. All right? I appreciate this. I appreciate this a lot. Absolutely. All right, let's see what the chat says here. How does the correlation of the 10-year yield work with gold and the dollar? All right, that's a good question. So in regards to the 10-year yield, okay, this is what we call the US government bonds 10-year yield. So when people are selling off their stocks, they tend to put it into the bonds, okay, and this usually has an impact on the yield here. So what you can actually see is that when people are buying bonds, all right, they can get a certain yield return on their money here, and it's very easy, it's very safe. This is why the dollar is considered a safe haven, because what happens is if you buy this, you can actually get a return on your investment, which is a more fixed return, but at least you get something back for your money, so your money doesn't do anything. It's not sitting there, you know, getting eaten by inflation. So what happens here is that they're actually buying bonds, and then, you know, the yield tends to come up, and it strengthens the dollar indirectly. Okay, so there's a strong correlation between the dollar and between the 10-year yield. This is why the chart is so similar. Look at the yield and look at the dollar right there. So we can measure gold against that, because we also understand that if the dollar is seen as the safe haven asset and not necessarily gold, yeah, that there is that inverse correlation, right, between gold and between the dollar. And then we can actually measure how the dollar is valued against gold. And that can give us very good entries, actually amazing entries, if we find the right levels, of course, and the right confirmation. So, you know, you all put it together, and that kind of turns into, you know, our approach right there, right? It's valuation, it is the volume profile, it is our key levels around the volume profile, right? Institutional interest, and then, of course, some confirmation right there. I hope that answers your question. Okay. Yes, that is the game we're playing here. All right. Bull trap on gold. Yeah, we just went over it right now. I hope we pushed down a little bit indeed. We're seeing a lot of selling right now. So there is definitely a chance we will most likely push a little bit to the downside right now at the moment, right? That would not be really a surprise here. I don't really see the volume also for a push upwards either. Okay. So I think that this is the... this is definitely what we're looking at right now. Pullback scenario right here. Okay. Bella Rob. Good morning, Lorenzo. Good morning, guys. What's happening, Rob? Good to see you. When is the next 24-hour stream? Wow, that you guys still remember that shit. Holy moly. You know how long this was ago? The 24-hour stream? This was years ago. Yeah, we did a 24-hour live stream before. True. Years ago, when I hit 10,000 subscribers. 10,000 subscribers. It was like my life. Wow, I was like 10,000 subscribers. I couldn't believe my eyes. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Couldn't believe what I was seeing. Yeah. Higher time frame resistance right now. That's for sure. So yeah, the daily candle looks pretty good. But like I said before, right? Don't try to chase the market right now. Seeing a daily candle like that and thinking, oh, there is a lot of buying here, so we will most likely push up higher from here, right? We could easily drop again and come back to that same level of support here. Keep in mind that that level that we talked about, that 50 level, right, is also the daily level, okay? It is also the daily level. Just so you guys know that. Actually, it's a good point to mark this out as well here. This is also our daily support. Right around there. Okay? That's a good point. That we actually something we had to mark out as well here, the daily level. I think it's important to do so right now. Definitely. Yes. Can we drop to 4,200? I mean, we could do whatever, man. I'm not here to predict anything, right? I'm saying like, oh, we're gonna 100% come down, 100% go up. What I'm trying to say here always is this is where I would like to take an entry. And if price does come down further, yeah, we most likely will push down towards back, yeah, potentially back towards the lows again, which could easily happen, of course. But right now, we look at it level by level, and the overall structure makes sense to me. So the valuation will be key here, right? An undervaluation at some point will give us a bounce, and that bounce is what I want to trade right now. I want to trade that bounce. Yes. I will be part of the 24-hour stream. Man, that was crazy, right? That was absolutely, absolutely wild. 24-hour live stream. Wow. Yeah, if I would do anything like this again in the future, right? I will make it much better, by the way. I will make it next level. I would absolutely make it next level. The reason why is because I would definitely look at potential guys in the streams, right? To do like a marathon or something like that. To bring people to my place. To actually have conversations with traders. To not just trade live all the time. Because, yeah, you cannot sit there for 24 hours and try to trade. Right? It's also about, you know, it's a whole package. It's a whole package. So who knows, man? Anyways, that drop is kind of what we anticipated though, right? So that's not really a surprise right now. Let's see how far we can get. And the dollar is holding up well. The oil is pushing up, right? It's mainly oil, I think, right? It's the yield, it's the oil. They're all moving in conjunction with each other. The dollar. So that's not going to be good for gold, of course, when you see that happening here. But we are going to face that resistance on oil also very, very soon. We just talked about that resistance right there on oil, the 92. So it makes sense for oil to potentially get into that level here. We will find support soon, though, already on gold. Yeah, I'm looking at the 56, the 55, actually. The 55, 56, it aligns perfectly with our level. The point of control here. Let me see if I actually... Today we are in a balance session, right, guys? So today is the balance session day. Today's session is balanced trading session. And also for the new people, why is this important for me? The reason why this is important for me is because if we are trading within the daily high and the daily low in New York, okay? So we have the highs and the lows right here. We're trading within it. But we don't necessarily expect always the breakout to occur during the New York session, right? So for that exact reason, I'm calling this a balanced trading session because we're kind of in a range at the moment, okay? So that means that I'm somewhere here waiting for an undervaluation. I'm trying to trade the range. All right, that's the idea here. Now, of course, with the higher time frame in mind, I do have a bit of a bias in my mind, right? We just talked about our bias and the reasoning for it. But yeah, as long as we're within the daily high and the daily low right here, which is sitting between the 4450 and the 4305, we are in a balanced trading session. And that means that I will be more scalping orientated. I will not push too much into holding on to my trades as well here. Because we don't really know if we will break today or we stay in a flat range as well here, right? So it's not time to be greedy. And in the range, I usually want to buy low and I want to sell high. I don't want to just go for the breakouts. Yeah. Are you from the Netherlands? Yes, sir. I'm not living in the Netherlands, but I am from the Netherlands. Nice. I like the drop. Definitely wanna come down a bit more. Yes. Calm down, baby. Give us a nice big fat undervaluation, please. You guys agree? Let's do it. Let's do it. Very curious to see how price responds, by the way, in the 50s right here. Definitely want to see what's going on right there. The 5 minute, we're definitely dropping. We're definitely dropping kind of hard. Where is the 5 minute? There we go. Yeah, a lot of selling right now. Clearly a lot of selling here. We're just waiting for that reaction. Where are the 50s right there? Let's check the 50 minute. There we go. A lot of selling here. Yeah, a lot of selling. Some buyers stepping in here. I like this as well. I like to see buying interest before, actually. I like to see a little bit of buying interest beforehand. But the sellers are more and more aggressive right now, for sure. You can see this. Daily level at 43.65. Then we have the point of control at 4356. How low can we go? How low can we go? Very nice push. Ooh, nice. Sorry, guys. We're chilling today. We have some music. I hope you guys enjoying. Watching price coming down here. First reaction into the daily. All right. Still pushing down here. No rushing today, guys. We talked about we're not gonna rush. We're not gonna rush into buys here. Point of control, we're getting closer to our level. There was so much selling in this level, by the way. There's so much selling here in this range. All sellers. So I do expect support here. Yeah, it's 5 minute. Already pushing out of the undervaluation here, the 15 minutes. So that means there are definitely some buyers here. We are holding above this daily level. When do we close this candle? We close this candle in 4 minutes. 4 minutes. 4 minutes. We still definitely have some work to do. Yeah, I hope today we can actually reach a clear undervaluation here on the 50 minute, because every time we kind of came back towards the 65s. Right here we found the bottom. Right here we found the bottom. Right here we actually were undervalued, right? Right there. And we found the bottom. The short-term bottom. We are now very, very close. Very, very close to another one. Let's go to the 5 minute. We have a bit of support here. That's not unexpected though, right? You guys can see that reaction here. Buyers are coming in. Buyers are definitely trying to push here. We will find resistance right here. We'll find resistance right here, right now on the lower time frame. Do you follow football? If so, who do you support internationally, Netherlands or Italy? I'm not a big football guy, to be honest, bro. I'm not a big football guy. Obviously, when it's about the World Cup, I like both. I like Italy and the Netherlands. I'm actually kind of neutral, to be honest. I'm actually kind of neutral here. When it comes down to sports, there are 2 sports that I watch. 3, actually. And that is the MMA, that's the UFC, that is boxing, and that is basketball. I love the NBA. I like to watch the NBA. Yeah, nice reaction so far. I like the buyers coming in here. I think that we are getting we're getting close to a bottom potentially. I like it. I like it. I like it. The dollar in resistance right now. Sorry, oil in resistance. The dollar is yeah, also pushing, but we know how many times we got rejected here beforehand. Look at all these 30-minute candles right there. Look at all these 30-minute candles right there getting rejected, right? Also very important. I like the overall reaction here. All right, 50-minute closure is in 30 seconds. So that is already a start. Cross the axis says Knicks fan. Nice. All right, still be able to push down. This is always the thing with these 50-minute candles, man. If you observe order flow for a long period of time here, then that last minute is so important. That last minute of the closure, of the 50-minute closure, you should really observe the last minute. It's actually so interesting if you watch it. All right, I think we're getting close. I think I might set a limit order now. I'm actually trying to see what we can do if we can flip bearish below the lows. The 4 hours, we have 4 hour support. We have 1 hour support here. This is where the sellers got trapped. This is why we're reacting, guys. Just so you understand the order flow here. This is the 4 hour. This is where we saw a lot of selling. Price steps into this, and look at how we're reacting from it, right? How we're reacting from this. This is on the 4 hour time frame. Then on the 1 hour, we have it a bit more precise. Okay. Because we're kind of reacting from this here. On the 15-minute right now, we are not there yet. Because sellers are on the lower time frame. We're still in control. You can see this for sure. Sellers are definitely still in control from the previous candle. But I like how buyers are willing to step in here. I would love to see that last squeeze to the downside there. I would love to see this right now. I might set a limit order here. Let's see how many points we have. Where can I put my stop loss? The 25s. The 25s. Either that or I wait for an entry model 1, which is in our ebook. Yeah, the dollar is at the 50s. Oh, sorry, the hourly is at the 50s right now. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Look at the buyers coming in here. Yeah, we have been reacting from that same level so many times now. Wow, it's actually really strong. $73. Let's see where this candle closes, this next 5-minute candle. And then I think the limit order will be set. Let's see. Yeah, if you look at the candlestick chart here, you think, oh, this looks bearish, right? This looks kind of like structurally weak. But at the same time, the absorption is happening here. A lot of selling, a lot of support from that level here. It's a daily level as well. It's a daily level as well. Daily support. But I do want to see lower low. I still want to see low. Because I think this level, this candle was kind of induced to push up higher aggressively. I just signed into your Discord. I want to know where... No, are you the one sending message to my email? Or is it the other people using your name? How did you got there, though? That's my question. How did you got there? Not looking weak. Not looking that weak. Okay. Not looking that weak. 74. 74.4. All right, let's see what happens, man. I'm just going to set a limit here at least right now. How many is this? Could actually do 2. Again, I think I'm going to do it in parts. I think I'm going to set one here. We close this candle right now, right? We just closed this candle, yes. 74.4. 74.4. And then the other one was at 56. Yeah, something like that. Let's see hourly. Yeah, I have 2 limit orders set here. That means average order will be there. I think it will be around $45,000 risk, right? Let's see if buyers can step in here. I would love to see buyers stepping in here. We do have that hourly level. We have that 4-hour level. I like both of those. I like both of these levels right now. I like the undervaluation here. Or close to an undervaluation. I just don't want to get in right away with full risk. Lower time frame, you could say sellers are trying to push down. That's why I think we might still push back down towards the 50, 56. We're still below. We're still seeing sellers coming in here. A lot of volume, a lot of delta, positive delta here. This is where we really flipped. If someone sends you a message on Discord, then it's not me, okay? It is not me. Just want to be clear on that. That is not me. That is not me, my friend. Unfortunately, this happens a lot. There's not much I can do about this. Dollar is slowing down. Dollar is definitely slowing down here. Oil is in resistance. All right. Oil is in resistance. Dollar is slowing down here. Yield is still holding up quite well. This is why gold is not going yet. I think. Let's see. I like it overall. Major zone is still for me the 55, 56 here. Do we have news today? Yes, we do have news in around, I think it's in around an hour. Okay, we're not that far away. 51 minutes. So we do, yeah, we have to take that in consideration, but I don't want to wait for the news. I don't want to wait for the news in an hour. Okay, I don't want to wait for the news today, or at least not now, in an hour at least. Yeah, we definitely are in that resistance right now. We are seeing sellers coming in here. There's definitely a lot of absorption right now. Kind of impressed how this 50-minute candle is moving up here right now. Or actually holding up here. Wow. It's definitely buying pressure, man. It's definitely some buyer pressure. US stock market open will be volatile for sure, my G. I agree with you. We still have 35 minutes for this as well. So, yeah, I agree. Let's look on a 5-minute. Yo, Lorenzo, thank you for yesterday's trade. No worries, my friend. Yeah, patience was important yesterday, right? We also are kind of expected this with Trump and stuff, right? So yeah, of course, no worries. No worries. Yeah, we're definitely stagnating right now, right around here. You can definitely see this, for sure. I just want to see this 50-minute candle right now. Let's at the hourly as well. That's gonna be interesting. I prefer, actually, to be honest, that this 50-minute close is above as well. I think that's what I'm going to do, actually. I think, that's what I'm going to do right now. Actually, I'm going to wait for this 50-minute. The reason why is because the hourly candle closure is here as well. We have this hourly candle closure as well here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this down towards that same level. 53, 57. Let me actually just redo this right now. Let me just actually redo this right now. Two contracts. And then how many is this? Okay. Yeah, I think that's a good start. Just because the hourly bottom wick needs to be created. in around what, 2 minutes. So I'm gonna move it down a bit more. My entry. We're seeing some resistance right now. Sellers are struggling, but buyers as well, right? Buyers are not pushing, continue to push price higher. And I would love to see us tapping into that undervaluation completely. Maybe actually we would even get towards the 45s, but that's a whole other reason here. This is where everything changed. This is where we broke structure. Carlos, good to see you, my G. Ruben Tavares. Welcome to the stream, my friend. Looking forward to see you on a daily basis, tuning in, watching the gold market, watching our favorite instrument, Goldie, do its thing. How many minutes left? We have literally 18 seconds for this hourly closure. So set in the bottom wick, please. Come down first. That would be the ideal. I want the hourly candle to come down with the open. Okay. Yes. It's holding up well. It is holding up well. It is holding up well. Would have I already been triggered into my trade? No, right? No. No. It was slightly below that. 74.6. No, definitely not. Now we would. Yeah, I think it was a good choice to be patient here and wait for price to absolutely tap into this hourly zone. But we're holding up. We're holding up really well. We're holding up well right now. A lot of selling in this hourly candle. Obviously, the ideal will be eventually to break above the VWAP, but that's all the way up there at 88. So I prefer to buy lower instead and see if we can bounce there. Why is it last minute of the 50 minutes so important? Because I tend to see a lot of volume coming in at the end of the candle. And that could potentially set in like the real, the real move, the real direction. It's holding up well. It's holding up well. We're in that box we talked about. Very interesting to see, right? You see aggressive selling, like price is pushing down aggressively, right? Very aggressively. And then it suddenly stops. It suddenly finds support. And then a lot of selling happens in this bottom. Yeah, whenever you say like... Look at that reaction. Wow. 74. That would have actually been a good reaction right there. Dollar is slowing down. What do you expect from the news today? I don't know. I don't have any expectation for the news today. It's preliminary release as well, right? So when it's preliminary, it's not an official statement, right? We need to see more data, okay? We need to see more data, and then we have the real exact outcome of the news. So it's just a preliminary release. It's usually less impactful in general, right? In retrospect. So it's still news though. It's still something that we have to watch and look at. That's for sure. You can see that this zone is holding, right? This box, it actually is holding right now pretty well. It's actually holding pretty well. But this is the moment of truth though, because this is where the sellers came in aggressively in the last hour. So we're going to find out now if they are willing to protect their position here. And you see more selling coming in already right now. So I think that entry that we have there is a good entry. Hopefully we can get down. We can get actually filled at the 57.9. I would love to see that. Definitely some pressure still, but it's not bad. It's not weak. It's not weak, that's for sure. ADP release in last hour was bullish for the dollar. Okay. What are these charts on the right? These are these charts on the right is the order flow chart, and we're gonna give away some promos very soon as well, so you can get free access to it. They reached out to me to say, "Hey, I love your live streams, amazing." They came back to me and they said, "Okay, we can kind of offer you some giveaway promos." I'm like, "Yeah, why not? Why not? Why not giving the community some promos, some free access to play around with it?" Also, a lot of people have messaged me about that workspace. I will put it in a Google Drive link as well here for the people that actually already have it. But I'm not a promoter or something of exit charts. Right? Not making any money over them or whatever. But yeah, why not? Why not do some giveaway promos? Always nice, right? Yeah, I see selling is coming in here, so there's definitely still some selling pressure from the 80s here. The hourly time frame was pretty obvious that we had aggressive selling there. So this is where we kind of expected that reaction. This is why I was a bit hesitant with like entering at the 44, unless I would be like hyper scalping trading or like immediately get out of my position. But like, you know, I'm not here to make $100. You know what I mean? I am here to make at least 1,000, at least. But you never know. You never know. We're not gonna be too greedy, like I said before. You know, but there are minimal requirements. We do want to see a little bit more follow through. That's for sure. Yeah, I like how this 4 hour is actually holding up really well, and how we're seeing buyers here stepping in. So that's good. Just can we get that last squeeze? How much do you get in sometimes? It depends, man. It depends on the market condition, right? I manage my risk according to the market conditions. So when I'm very certain and the market is like high volume, it's trending, I increase my risk. When it's a bit more slow and steady, I'm not going to be too greedy. I'm just going to set it down a bit. Sometimes I have a different approach for my entries as well. Sometimes I split my entries because I'm trying to kind of bottom fish, if that makes sense, which is very hard to do without like a tool like this or the order flow chart, in my opinion. Fishing bottoms. Look at that reversal, right? So yeah, that's why patience is key here. Definitely, man. Definitely important. Yeah, so resist at 90, 91. Wow, the daily level is holding up so well, though. Wow. Wow. Give me a one squeeze, man. Give me that one squeeze and close above it. Close above the daily again. Then reset. The dollar is pushing again. This is where we were seeing that selling pressure on gold now. The next level on the dollar will be here, which is not far away. We're definitely in that resistance again very, very soon on the dollar as well. So I will pay attention to this. Yeah. 99.5. I think that was the daily level that we talked about, right? I think that was a daily low that we talked about. Calvin says, Lorenzo, I love your giveaways, but I don't think I have the luck to get it. Possible to pay in your community. I want to learn to trade like you. Right now, I'm not opening up. I'm not selling anything here, man. I'm just trading here. Just having fun with you guys. Learning, executing, and being consistent. That's what I'm doing right now. That's the plan. But yeah, man, I hope you're enjoying the streams. I hope you guys can have, you know, some different things. We will create some formats within the formats, right? Some educational sessions within the streams as well. It also depends on the market. There's so many things we can do here. So many things we can do here. Friday, we cover all the trades of the week. Right? All the ideas and trades that we had. Right? Pretty much. And sometimes I mark out scenarios, right? So you at least have an understanding. Yesterday was a good example, right? Yesterday was a good example where we talked about a trade setup, a trade idea. And it actually played out after the stream. Okay. So we came down and we pushed up. So sometimes I also give you trading ideas regardless. So you can actually put it into practice. Maybe even on a demo account, just to understand why. What the reasoning behind it is and stuff, right? I hope that makes sense. Lorenzo, 5 minutes is not undervalued. You said we must hold you accountable. Good point, my G's. But this is why I have my limit order lower. Right? But I must say we're holding up really, really well by now. This is actually holding up really well. Respectfully well. Dollar is at resistance again, and we just talked about. And gold is just doing its thing. Let me go to lower time frame. We're still holding the lows. The 5 minute is as well. Respecting very well. It's not bad, man. It's not bad. But I stick to this entry right now. Yeah, I think gold looks good. I'm starting to believe it more and more and more and more and more and more right now. You can see how these sellers are getting in, but they're unable to break down here. The hourly, that zone is still there. We still are undervalued, so we're still not really like pushing up aggressively already, right? Which is good to see. At the same time, the 4 hours, that major support on the 4 hours as well here. We're seeing a buy stepping in. This candle will close in like 2 hours, 45 minutes. So we still have a long way to go, but you know, this is definitely not where you want to be selling. That's my personal opinion. This is definitely not where I would be selling here, because there is just too much aggressive selling around this level here, where these sellers that were shorting got trapped, got stuck in their trades, are now stuck in their position. Usually you want to go either against that and not trying to enforce or force a sell. And because of that aggressive selling here, right, beforehand on these two candles right there, you can also see that a lot of traders will follow through on that, and they immediately start smelling the lows right here, right? They start immediately looking at this reaction. They think, wow, we're going to go for the lows. Gold's going to drop. Boom. It's going to continue this this momentum. And then it finds support. Yeah, that's just my opinion here for now. The price action has been madness, to be honest. If you can trade these market conditions well, then I would consider you a solid trader, my friend. Because these market conditions are meant to trick you. They're built to trick you. So you have to be very precise here. And manage your risk well. And not be too greedy. Yeah, we have news soon too, right? 15 minutes for the New York Stock Exchange to open. This is the only thing I'm thinking about right now, this New York Stock Exchange. How are we going to open the New York Stock Exchange? There is no way that I would like to be in position right now already. Like there's no way that I would like to be in a position at the moment. With that pressure there, with that selling pressure there, right in the middle. It feels that it's really 50-50 here. So at least give us the benefit of the doubt by setting a limit order below these lows. Kind of, you know, looking for that fake out before the move. Which actually would tap us perfectly in that hourly zone that we talked about here. So yeah, let's see, man. Mario says, I think we will be consolidating at this point for some time here. Yeah, let's see. We have some news. We have the open of the New York Stock Exchange. We're definitely have some potential catalysts here. Let's see. Shupa, my friend. Good to see you on the streams. Hope you're doing well. And thank you guys for liking this video here. This is what we have been doing here, and I really appreciate this because this is how we help you know, the channel grow. It's very, very appreciated. If you could like the channel, that would be amazing. I have a book for you that I've created, that we created with our team. Very, very nice. Contains all the information around the volume profile and how we find our levels and our areas of interest. And the correlation as well as explained, the dollar and gold and the yield and gold, right? Why it matters, why it's so important to look at the dollar. And also, of course, a macro, higher time frame, supply and demand, you name it. It's all in this, it is all in this beautiful, beautiful book right here, right? Yes, sir. So it's all there. It is all there. That's why a like would be highly appreciated. It's because it's all free. And in terms of giveaways, yeah, well, definitely gonna do some giveaways here. We talked about it already, but everything comes on time here. We just started. We just started the streams again, guys. This is episode 11. Think about that. This is episode 11, all right? This is episode 11. Episode 11, man, it went so fast, by the way. That went super fast. Yes. Crazy. Jordan says, I think the Americans did their job in taking out the Chinese. So most likely with the war, we expect the real metals run right now. Well, let's... The deleveraging has started, that's for sure, man. That correction was nuts. The volume was crazy. I agree with you. It has been a mess. And we might see a nice pullback here. But it's interesting because no one wants to buy at the bottom. But everyone wants to buy at the top. I wish I had that image right now. That meme. Where's that meme? People standing in line, standing in the queue to buy gold at $5,000. Almost 6,000. Not at 4,000. Lorenzo, do you have less stress since you are in Bali? I mean, I think stress comes internally, okay? Not externally. I think it comes from within, all right? So I don't like these external factors to influence my well-being. So my stress can come from anything internally. It could happen anywhere. So I don't necessarily say that Bali necessarily makes me feel better. The good thing about Bali, though, what I like is the sun. Obviously, it reduces cortisol for sure, right? You have a good structure, you go to the gym. I think all these things help really well. You have clean food. So yeah, there are definitely some positives for sure. There are definitely some positives to live here. That's for sure. People are happy, right? If you say hi, people are waving on the scooter. Like, hi, how are you doing, man? Like, they're alive, okay? They're alive. They are living. And they're actually, I have a lot of respect for the local people here because they're very happy with very little. They're very happy with very little. That's what I respect the most because, yeah. More money can also bring more problems, you know? Less money can also bring problems too, by the way. A lot of problems, so. We're here to make money, but I always have that respect from them. I never look down on them. I was like, yeah. I know a guy on the beach. I went there. I was surfing with him in the weekend. My girlfriend took a surfing lesson. And that's what he does. He lives on the beach, teaches people how to surf. Living life, man. Living life. Yeah, so we're still pushing here. Sellers are still coming in. We have also the US stock exchange open right now. It's going to be very interesting today, to be honest. It's going to be very, very interesting. You can see how much selling there still is, right? It's not like buyers are trying what they're failing right now. So are sellers. So we're literally in the range. We're literally on in the 1 minute range right now. It's very, very hard to give you an exact reaction here. So I prefer to get into like a manipulation or something and then react bullish. That would be the ideal case scenario. The question is, if you do see the manipulation, are we going to be ripping into our major 1 hour zone? I think it could make a lot of sense that we will tap into this major 1 hour zone right here. Manipulate into this on the lower time frame. Squeeze out the lows and then reverse. That is the ideal case scenario. Okay, that will be the ideal case scenario. The dollar is in resistance right now. The dollar is in resistance right now. And the 15-minute is getting lower and lower to that undervaluation, guys. We are now there. We are now there. We have arrived. We have arrived. This is one time when we tapped into it. This is almost the second time, the third time. And now we're here at the fourth time since yesterday. Oh no, the fifth time since yesterday, since the weekly open, okay? But this was one buying opportunity. This was two the second buying opportunity. This was the third buying opportunity for a quick scalping. That's the one we talked about yesterday. That's the one that many of you guys took because you guys messaged me and we talked about that setup right here. That is this setup. That was this trade. And then we had one in Asia. And now we're going to see if we'll see one in New York. Okay. Now we're going to see if we're going to see one in New York as well here. Mahir Hos, good to see you, man. Welcome to the streams. Hope you're doing well. 5 minutes before the New York Stock Exchange open here. Are we going to get wicked out of our trade? That's the question. Am I going to get wicked out of my position here today? Let's see. Because we have news, we have some things coming. But it's just a process. Keep following the same system. And over time, we'll make money here. If we would have bought every time we were undervalued with the right confirmation, we would have been up a lot of money right now. So just follow up with that process. Of course, in the right context, the dollar needs to be in resistance. That's a rule, for example. The dollar needs to be either weak or in resistance. We need to have some levels that are aligned, not just a undervaluation, right? That by itself is not something I'm willing to look for. It's about the combination of a couple different factors. Valuation, correlation, volume, and order flow. Valuation, correlation, volume, the volume profile, and order flow. Should we wait until the news is out? Maybe we should. No. We're going to stay in. I'm going to stay in the trade. I'm going to stay in the trade. We're going to see what happens. All right? A bit of action today. Thank you, guys. We smashed a record, guys. We smashed a record. We have around 300 likes in around 1 hour and 20 minutes. That is another record today. All right. I appreciate this a lot. Appreciate this a lot. That's amazing. That's amazing. We might reach the 113K today. I'm going to be thinking about giveaways as well here. We talked about the order flow chart here. Right, this usually costs around, I don't know exactly how much it costs, sorry. I don't know exactly how much it costs on a monthly basis here, but we're going to give away some promos. Because they reached out to me, they said, yo, we will be able to give you some giveaway promos to your audience, to your community. So for the people in the chat that have been active, that I've been seeing being active, giving us some good feedback as well here, that are showing up consistently, you know, let me see what I can do for you, man. Let me see what I can do for you. Yeah. Open or what? 2 minutes. All right. Come on. Don't disappoint me today. Do exactly that. Manipulation down. Reaction up. Manipulation down. Reaction up. The 1 minute is flat. Dollar is pushing before the open. Oil is pushing before the open. 10-year is pushing before the open. Is gold really pushing down? Not really. Not really at the moment. That's interesting, right? It's always interesting. What is going on here? What is going on here, guys? "40 seconds. How do you mark up the swing POC? That's a great question. I'm going to answer this after the open here. Good question, Patrick. There we go. We're dropping finally. We're making some moves, man. We're making some moves. 50 minutes is undervalued. 4-hour closure or 50-minute closure. Ooh, of course, you see that again, right? The last moment, right, guys? The last freaking moment. You saw that volume coming in? Pay attention to this. Really pay attention to this. Wow. Wow. What a volume. Pushing. This is that 1 minute manipulation here. If you can break above the highs, we're freaking set. We're set, okay? We're golden. If that would happen. Damn. Let's see, man. There's a lot of selling here. What a move. What a reaction, by the way, from that level. So crazy. Dollar is at that resistance now. Yeah, this is that reaction into this hourly zone that I take very serious. Okay. Hourly zone, I take that very serious here. It's a very important moment. All right, a bit scalping today, guys, right? Scalping session today. We're in a balanced trading session here. Type in a yes in the chat if you understand the reason why we're looking at a balanced session, why we're scalping in a balanced session here, why it matters. All right, we have that closure on a 1 minute at least back above. So 2 minutes. Pretty volatile though, guys. Very volatile. Yeah, if you can re-break the highs here, guys, then it's that's really what we would love to see here. So this is the moment of truth, really. I do love that hourly here. Even if it would come back down, I do expect some support there anyways. I need to set in the 30-minute, by the way. I know there is resistance here. We know that there's resistance here. So that's no surprise. Is there follow through? Lorenzo, why are you not waiting for the news? I don't really want to wait for the news here. It's a preliminary release. This means that it will have an impact, but yeah, I don't want to wait like you know, 2 hours since the open, an hour and a half for the news here. Maybe that will be the real move of the day. Who knows, man? Come on. Look at the 5 minutes. Still that selling pressure is still coming in. But I loved to see that manipulation squeeze before that move. Right before the open of the New York Stock Exchange open. So I hope it's just the manipulation here. Well, let's see. Look at that buying, huh? At our level. Yeah, I'm happy with the entry regardless here, guys. To be honest, I'm happy with the decision of this price level and why I chose to enter here. And why I wanted to see that move down, right? Imagine trying to get in there, right? And then you're stuck in a range and the price drops. Now we have at least a chance to, like, you know, manipulate down and potentially reverse higher. We are in a higher time frame support here. We just never know really what actually happens around the New York Stock Exchange open. So we do have to take that in consideration here. But that's why I reduced my risk anyways a little bit. And we have some room to spare as well. If price drops, maybe your stop loss will work like support. I hope not. Better not. What's up, G Safu? Good to see you, man. I'm closely watching the 4309 for a potential reaction. 4309. Yeah, then I will re-enter again if that will be the case here. Right? I will be simply re-entering again. Yeah, the 50 minute is not looking that amazing right now. What is our next level if that's the case? If we still have levels in between. The 40... The 44. Yeah. It's looking still, it's not there yet. What would you do if you get stopped out? I will look for a re-entry. It's definitely volatile today in terms of internally. A lot of wicks, bottom and top. Lorenzo, what would be your target? Well, if we can break above the highs here by default already, right? Then we most likely continue to go higher for the session here. So we'll just see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. But right now, I'm not here trying to look at targets yet. Just trying to see if I can manage the trade. We are finding support on the 5 minute. You can see this. But you can also see how volatile it is, right? And how it doesn't really want to push us higher. There is support, you see it. So I feel that I bought at the right level. But there is no follow through yet, right? And that's clearly what we're seeing here as well. We're seeing buyers stepping in. So we just need to see that spike up, that volume and that closure. But I like the entry overall. Marcelo, hi friend, how are you? I'm new here, I'm from Brazil. Would it be possible to add the option for subtitles in your live stream? I don't think it's possible, unfortunately, my friend, live. Okay? At least that's what I think. I don't think so. I don't think so. Man, look at that support. Every time, guys. Every time. Look at how many times did we sell this 5-minute candle move pushing up and down right now? How many times did we potentially come down here, right? And then up, back up again. What a candle, man. What a 5-minute candle. Yeah, I'm gonna watch very, very closely how we close here, because I think this is gonna make a massive, massive difference. Wow, what a up and down and up and down. Bro, I'm minus 830. How is it already possible now? We're literally around our entry. All right, now we're breaking down again. Look at this, right? 1 second before the closure. What happened? 5 seconds before the closure, volume came in, right? That's what you don't want to see. You don't want to see massive volume coming in, bearish, right before the closure. We talked about this on the 15-minute as well. That's what we don't really want to see here. But man, buyers are there. Buyers are there. Buyers are there. Look at that. We're back on profit again. It's crazy, right? Hovering around our entry. What is this chart doing today, guys? Yeah, it's a lot of selling coming in here. How long do we have left? 19 minutes? Yeah, the dollar is in its resistance. The dollar is not really reacting. It's actually holding up really well. It's actually kind of... It's in resistance, but it's kind of trying to squeeze higher. But it's not really going higher in the last 20 minutes. Yeah, we can definitely see that we're in some sort of support here, but it's a nasty price action right now. Look at that on the 1 minute. To be honest, I'm not liking the price action right now, guys. I'm really not liking the price action. I might cut out the trade in a, like literally, I might cut it out. And I'm gonna wait for lower targets here. Because I can see how much sellers are just trying to push it. How long do we have for this closure here? $42. 51, 52, 7 seconds. Do we have a closure above? 3. Let's set in the bottom. Yeah, okay. If this flips, great. We have this closure now. I want to see it flip. Otherwise, I'm just going to put it there. And I'm going to look for a lower target here because I'm not a big fan of the price action right now. I'm not liking it. So I'll take a really minimal cut here if that's the case, because I'm not liking it. We see that close. We saw that last squeeze. We need to see some follow through right now. We're also like 50 minutes before the news, right? So now I'm like, okay, 50 minutes before the news. Oh wait, 2 minutes before the news. So let's see what the news actually will tell us, and then we'll go from there, man. Then we'll go from there. 2 minutes before the news. The key trader, bro, you always pop on my YouTube. If the market enters a value, there is an 80% chance of visiting the other side of the value here. I said earlier that it's going down. What a wizard, man. Congrats. You are the wizard. You are the wizard. Yeah, so I moved my stop all the way there from there. I'm just gonna observe now the price action, because look at since our entry how we have been chop. We have news right now in what, 20 seconds. What I want to see is I want to get into my trade like we saw here. This was a perfect entry, right? And then we had that beautiful reaction. You don't want to see this. I don't want to see like the chop behavior after that. I want to see follow through, or I want to see at least some more volume coming in, right? I want to see some volume coming in here. So we reduced our risk tremendously right now, and we just want to see the follow through, or we'll look for better entries. Yeah, I waited purpose for this candle right there. That showed us at least some potential. That's why I wanted to put it below the lows, because we did see some buyers stepping in. I don't necessarily want to break the lows again. All right, what is the news telling us? The news is telling us nothing special here. Mixed data. 51.1 and 52.4. So very mixed data for dollar. Very mixed. If you just tuned in, we had an entry right here. We got filled quickly, and then we had our stop loss all the way down. We moved it. I'm not really liking the price action. So we'll see if we can, in my opinion, get into like a little bit of a better entry if we come down here. The 50-minute is as well looking pretty bearish right now. So this to me is pretty much like a break-even trade, honestly. But the amount of support is just freaking me out right now. How it's constantly getting supported below that wick. Crazy. It's not just that buyers are failing, sellers are failing too. But sellers are trying. It's not that buyers are trying, it's sellers are trying. That's what you can see here. Sellers are trying, buyers are absorbing. Okay, you can see that there. Sellers are trying, buyers are absorbing, not the other way around. Dun, 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 dun. We got 1,400 people watching right now, 1,500. Press a like. That would be highly appreciated. We just started off this new order flow format right here, guys. This is episode 11 here. I'm coming back on the streams right now. This is a new format that I'm bringing to the table. Okay? Yeah, for you guys, I'm here to just share my ideas every day around gold. I love to trade gold. It's my, it's my baby. And we're here just to observe together the markets. We look at some order flow as well. Okay? We know that we're in a level here. You can see the buyers are willing to step in here, but if there's no follow through, there's no follow through, guys. There's nothing I can do about it. We definitely, in my opinion, picked the right level. And over time, if we pick levels like these, it will work in our favor here. I love to deal with undervaluations here. Okay, I do. What are some other levels in case we drop further down? I would be looking at the what I already talked about, right? The 25. The 25 is something I was looking at. It's the very low of this range. And sorry, the 32, my bad. And the 10. These are two other levels that I would be willing to look at if price continues to drop lower. But yeah, the ideal case scenario would just simply be we range, we squeeze down, we manipulate during the New York Stock Exchange open, and now we break out. You know what I mean? Now we break out. Am I starting to see some clear structure here? Yeah, buyers are definitely coming in. But sellers are really, really strong here. Especially on the top. Especially at the 65s, right? But that's why we reduced our risk and we're just waiting for a better entry. Yeah. All right, back at the lows. Again. What a mess. What a mess, guys. This is our entry right here. Look at what happened since our entry. What a mess. What a mess. What a mess. Urugurakan, my friend. Welcome to the channel. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the streams. Good to see you. Price didn't react to the news. No, I told you guys, right? It's not the biggest deal. It's a preliminary release. It's not a big deal today. What a weird structure here. What a weird structure here. So yeah, I'm gonna mark out the next levels here already because I can already see that this is probably, you know, it has just too much downside pressure. The 29. Is it the 29? The 32, yeah, we talked about the 32 here. Okay. That is a level I was looking at already. The 32s. We are undervalued here. The question is, are we willing to break now and push back up again, or is this it? Right, we moved our stop from here down to there. Just to reduce our risk and just to sit it out and wait. And if it goes, it goes. But I expect it actually not to go now. You can just see how sellers are just in control here. Well, let's see, man. I love the undervaluation. So I'm not going to sell. I'm not going to sell in an undervaluation here. The dollar is in its resistance as well here. Oil is... All right, oil is still pushing. Oil is actually still pushing as well here. And the 10-year yield is also still pushing, right? So... literally in the range right now. Look at the dollar on the 1 minute. It's not just gold, it's the dollar too. Look at the dollar. Look at the dollar on the 1 minute time frame here. And there is buying. There is buying. There is an absorption here clearly. Wow. 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 Break even here. Right? Break even time. Completely break even here. Yeah, now it's up to the trading gods. Jeez. Up to the trading gods here. We have the entry we have the entry. Right? We have the entry. We have the entry. Now it's about follow through. You know what I mean? Now it's about follow through. Now it's about the actual follow through here. Let's see if the 5-minute can close relatively good in around 40 seconds. And then we have, sorry, the 50-minute closure in 5 minutes. It's definitely buying here. So now we want to just flip and break structure to the upside. We don't want to push down again. We don't want to do that. Wow. You see what happens, guys? I keep telling it. What did I tell you now? Again, pay attention to this so much, right? The last 10 seconds, right? Before the candle closure. Do you saw that? Let me know in the chat if you saw that. Keep paying attention to this. These closures are so important, man. These closures are so key. Yeah, this is still so much selling. So much selling. So much resistance here. We're right in the box as well. We understand that we are in that box. But there is a lot of buying here. So the question is, are we able to finally squeeze through these sellers here internally and turn this into a consolidation, a manipulation, and then the expansion, right? The consolidation, the manipulation, we enter in the manipulation, and then we wait for the expansion. And sometimes, if you're really convinced, then you can even enter on the retest again of the expansion. So you enter at the bottom, then you wait for the break of structure to the upside, you wait for the pullback, and then you re-enter the trade, for example, right? That is what we call a CME play, okay? And it's exactly in our book right here. You can fix it, find it at the fixed profile. Page number 47. The consolidation, the manipulation. What did we do here? We waited for the consolidation, we stalled the manipulation, we entered in the manipulation, then we waited for the expansion. Now, a lot of people enter on the retest of that again, right? That's the idea. That is kind of the thought process right there. I hope you understand this here. It's all in our book here. You can get it for free. Everything we do here is free. So the only thing that we ask you guys is to just smash up that like button here. All right, if you can smash up that like button here, we're almost at 130K subs. I would really highly appreciate this, all right? We're coming here back on a day-to-day basis. And I like the dollar dropping right now. I really like the dollar dropping, okay? I like that the dollar is coming down here. We need some music. Not too crazy yet. Not too crazy yet. All right, I'm gonna sell one. Close one contract, guys. That's it. Leave the rest running here. Okay? Close one contract, leave the rest running here. Let's take some profits today here. I think the market conditions are very unstable right now. Let's not be greedy here. Let's take some, I'm taking some profits out and I'll leave the rest running. In case it goes, right? In case it goes, but at least we have, we took out something here. Yeah? It makes sense. We waited long enough here. And the reason why is this reason, all right? The main sellers are really taking control here. And this is why we're facing that resistance right now. Okay, right here, and we're still seeing that rejection there as well, right? So I like it, and leave the rest running in case we completely shoot up anyways. Manny says, just sold on gold, made small profits, nice calls. All right, nice, nice, congratulations, amazing. Yeah, this was a beautiful level. I'm happy with this level. We had to manage our trade because we were dealing with news and all these things right here. The thing about this though right now, this is what I'm saying, right? We are up, we took some profits here. If we do manage to break out, I will be using the volume profile over these areas, okay? And I will look for the retest and entry again. So I will look for something like this. Then I have a new contract here and my average order will be there. And then I can pretty much put my stop loss right there. Still be break even, right? So we scale back into the trade pretty much, right? I hope that makes sense here. We're just scalping a bit today here. This was my intent. We are in a balanced trading session. I'm not going for the big bucks today. We're just chilling. We're just chilling. Jerks, your price was spot on. Well done. Thank you, man. This is where the valuation comes in, bro. The combination of valuation, okay, undervaluation, with a key level. This is the strategy, right? The valuation, the correlation with the dollar, the volume profile, and the hourly order flow. Look at how we reacted in our box. Do you see that? This is where sellers got trapped in this hourly candle, where we saw an aggressive spike. So we expected support here. We did expect support right at this critical level here on the dollar. So yeah, definitely the entry definitely made sense. Just a bit messy. It was just a bit messy at the beginning. TP1 hit. Scaling in again if CME plays out. All right, the 15-minute, the 5-minute is not overvalued yet, guys. The 5-minute is not overvalued. All right, the 15-minute is still there. It's still chilling at the bottom. All right, we now have, in essence, the best entry you can get. All right? That is just the reality here. In my opinion, this was the best long entry of the session. Is the CME confirmed? Not yet, man. We're still waiting for the price to clearly break above the highs here. But we're not that far away. That's for sure. I do like it a lot. Actually, I would love to see the pullback after this push higher. Yeah. But I think we will still get a pullback, of course. I still think that we will get another pullback here. But anyways, yeah. How many points is this? This is now around 34 points. So 347 pips, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. 360 pips. A bit low risk today, though. I hope you guys understand this. We usually risk 5 contracts, so this is a fraction of that. But let's see if gold can actually consistently now start creating higher highs and higher lows again, right? I don't get why people use points, lots, pips. Why not just the price in dollar or percentage? Yeah, the main reason is, bro, because of the fact that it's hard to calculate exactly how much money you would be making if you just calculate percentages. Because percentage of what, right? Percentage of what? You can easily calculate one contract equals $10, for example, right? 1 point, sorry, 1 point, 1 mini micro equals $10 or whatever, right? Nira, good to see you, man. Welcome on the stream. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the lives here. I'm here 5 days a week for you right now. We're killing it right now. We are in episode 11. We're chilling. We're trading gold together. Live New York session here for a couple hours. Okay? I show you my strategy built around the volume profile, some macro fundamentals, some macro. The valuation tool I show you guys, the correlation with the dollar, and we just turned that into a beautiful 5-minute and 15-minute strategy. Okay? So if you like that, I'm gonna do this all for free here on this channel. And we are now in episode 11 again. And the love I've been getting from you guys has been absolutely unreal, man. I really, really do freaking appreciate this so much. I really do. And I love to chat as well, man. No ego in this chat, just straight up sharing wisdom, sharing information. Thank you, guys. All right, where are we? Okay, we now have officially an hourly closure, right? So it's now all about, it is all about this box right here. Now our entry is at what? 40, 50, 57. Okay. Now most of the trapped sellers now, because the candle closed bullish. Okay. So this is super important. This hourly candle closed bullish, but at the same time, right? We closed this bullish candle. How is that possible? Okay. Well, there were more buyers than sellers in this candle, right? It's a positive delta of 286. That means there were more buyers than sellers. Okay, the candle closed green, and the most trapped sellers are sitting right here in this box at 75. Okay, now our entry is below 75, so expect to have support at 75. Okay, expect a reaction from 75. If we do get a reaction, I'm gonna go to the lower time frame, and I'm gonna go and look for an additional contract. I add on a new contract. Okay. So for example, price pulls back, it finds support, I add on a new contract. Now my order will get moved up here. I still break even, but now with the opportunity that we hold this box, okay? And that we can actually move higher again because we are not overvalued. We are undervalued still the 50-minute. The 5-minute, okay? Where's the 5-minute? It's getting there, right? So we do have to see a pullback. We do have to see a bit of pullback, but that pullback will be enough for us to push back into the equilibrium. So I'm very confident we could scale in if we pull back right now. All right, so I'm paying attention to the 50, to the 75 here. Okay. Yeah, paying attention to 75, which is this box right there. All right. And then my stop loss should be at least around the 65. Right, somewhere around the 65. That will be the ideal case scenario because that's right below. And I think we will have that if we can get into another contract right here. But let's see. But it all depends on how we behave, how we react, etc. But my suggestion is to pay attention to the 75 right now. Johnny Lorenzo, this is my second day watching you. And I just wanted to say you are awesome. can't wait to join your community soon. It's amazing to hear, man. That's beautiful. Right now, I do not have a open community. We're closed right now. Okay. But we're here on the live streams. We're having fun. And we're just doing our thing, man. Day in, day out right now. And let's just stay committed, man. Stay committed. Let's get here at 8 a.m. together. And let's do our work, our business. As usual. Let's get through all the different market conditions, different cycles. Because the biggest thing that I learned as a trader is to be as adaptable as possible. Know when to scale in aggressively, know when to reduce your risk, when to increase your risk, when to be more aggressive, when to be more defensive, when not to be greedy. Okay? And when to be greedy, by the way, as well. Dollar is dropping pretty well here. So that resistance was perfect, right? That resistance was very, very good. That's exactly what you wanted, what we wanted to see here. So yeah, the question is, are we going to see pullback soon? If so, the 75 is that level I will be watching. Yeah, 75 will be that level right here. 75. Which is actually where these sellers took control and where we had such a hard time breaking out of. Okay? Such a hard time. So I'm liking what I'm seeing here. But yeah, right now we're just pushing up and pushing up and pushing up here. Around 467 pips or 50 points. Jatu Hop, good to see you, man. Pascal Sak Gota, good to see you, man. Welcome to the channel. And thank you for the 113, man. Thank you for the 113. Dollar is tanking. Yes, sir. The dollar is tanking. And this was also the other layer, right? We saw that consolidation here. We saw that manipulation. And we knew somehow with the undervaluation that this was a really good level to enter from. Because a lot of people would go short here. And you could see the amount of selling that we've seen here, guys. It was unbelievable, right? So you do have to take consideration on it. All that selling that we've seen here, right? We saw so much selling pressure. I was also like, wow, what a horrible price action. But it wasn't getting absorbed. And all these sellers right now are stuck in their trade. That's what you want. You want to get into that impulse where a lot of sellers will act, will participate. And you want to absorb these traders and reverse. Now this becomes a huge area of support here. So that's why we still took some profits out of the market. We're not going to run on empty hands right now, regardless. If other people enter and they say, I'm out of the position, that's fair, right? If you want to take profits, get close your position. Completely up to you here. This is just what I'm doing. I'm just doing what I'm doing. And sharing what I personally do or what I know or what I like to do here at this moment today. I'm learning every day, man. I'm learning every day. Every day I'm trying to be a little bit better. Especially with this order flow stuff. It's very, very interesting. It's getting more and more clear to me. All right, so the pullback is here. The dollar is pulling back a little bit right now. Like I said before, I want to pay attention to the 75, okay? The 75 will be an important level. And yeah, that 50-minute closure again. Selling was almost for 30 minutes. I don't know, man. Yeah, 20 minutes for sure. Took a long time. It took a long time, definitely. What is the stop loss? Stop loss already at entry. Which is at 57 where we entered. If you anticipate a pullback, why not take profit on top and enter a short? Yeah, we took profit already. Maybe a little bit too early, to be honest. Maybe a little bit on the early side. Maybe a little bit on the early side. Not too early, but it could have been slightly, slightly higher. Definitely. All right, I do like this closure once again. There is that absorption. This is also the first closure above the VWAP. Okay, on the 15-minute time frame on gold. It is the first closure above it. All right. Lorenzo, are you here every day now? Yes, I'm here every day. So if you're interested in following my journey, then yeah, around 8 a.m. I will be here, New York time. It's just the best, man. Sometimes there's price action at the beginning of the stream right away. So, you know, not over the last couple of days, but usually we do want to get ready and prepared fully at 8 a.m. because you never know if the volume kicks in when the New York opens, right? But that's why sometimes we open the stream and boom, we have action. Sometimes we have to wait a bit. Sometimes it happens after the stream and we don't have a trade, but at least you will have a breakdown, you will have an analysis, and you will have scenarios. All right? You will have potential scenarios. And I think that is by default the most important. That was a good example from yesterday's trade. How that got filled. I think we also came up around 80 points. That was around, yeah, 800 pips, right? Roughly speaking. So it was a huge, actually pretty good move yesterday as well. What kind of indicator is this? The RSI? No, this is not the RSI. This is an indicator I created around valuation. It measures gold against the dollar or the 10-year yield. Okay? Because of the correlation that we're seeing here. But yeah. It's kind of the RSI, but then I always say it's the RSI on steroids. Because it kind of measures everything. It's still holding up really well, right? It's holding up really well. It's holding up really well. That's why I didn't. Yeah, that's why I don't like to short, for example, pullbacks, because you never really know, right? If buyers are in control, they are in control. And that's what we're kind of seeing here. Sellers are trying. They're trying. But they're failing. They're failing too. And we have support here. So if we flip this candle, we could squeeze higher. But let's see. I would love to see a pullback. Because it would give us potentially an opportunity, or it would give me an opportunity to get into a new and trade at the point of control of that range. Because this is by default for sure for today, the most important, or for this session, the most important data. This range right here, because this is where either the accumulation or distribution took place. This is just a manipulation, right? This is where the distribution or the accumulation took place. And this is why it's a typical CME play, like we just talked about. Okay? And in our book, we have this on page number 47. It's exactly like this right here, what we experienced today, right? I think it's exactly the same. Shohida, good to see you on stream. Welcome back. Or welcome to the stream, sorry. If this is your first time, we're going to be here for you 8 a.m. We always start the day with a banger, okay? Don't worry. We'll make sure you get into the vibe, you get into the mood. I'll make sure of that, okay? I'll make sure you get into the vibe, all right? If we break this high, we might go to the daily highs as well. We might get there. We might get there. Where are the daily highs? The daily highs are sitting at, yeah, these are the daily highs. 4449. Okay? The 50-minute is still relatively undervalued here. The 4449, the 4450 actually, sorry, the 4450, but I don't really like to look too far ahead, to be honest. Okay, we just have this level now marked out as an area of interest, but we're not going to look too far ahead. Just wait patiently for a potential pullback, but right now we're holding up really well. What's the name of the book? The book is called The LT Concepts Trading War Map. Right here, man. Yeah, it's not a child's book, okay? It's some serious shit. Some serious information. Took around a year. I took a year off of the live streams to actually write a book, all right? Took a year off of the live streams to write a book, to do my deeper research into the market, specifically the macro, because I'm so interested in macro as well. Not just the traditional macro data, like news, but the actual data. Valuation actually comes from this idea. Usually we look at valuation on the higher time frame. Now we're utilized kind of a hybrid model on the lower time frame. So now we're using it on the 5 and 50 minute, and it has been working so well, man. So well. All right? So well. So yeah, what was our entry? Our entry was there. What could be a target? Obviously it could be there, right? It could be. But I'm not chasing the targets. I'm not going to be obsessed with my target. I just look at it now, hour by hour, 50 minute by minute, pretty much, because we are still in a balanced session today. Okay? How do I know that we are in a balanced session today? We are in a balanced session because we are, let's make sure that this is clear here, haven't broken the daily highs, the high of the day, and we haven't broken the low of the day. So we're in the middle of the range, okay? And that requires, for me personally, when I'm trading in the middle of the range during the New York session, a bit more management, a bit more trade management, kind of a hybrid approach, okay? So if we would see the pullback, this would be the moment right now, because we're seeing that overvaluation on the 5 minutes. So if you say, listen, I'm happy with the trade here, I like this trade and I'm happy with the profits, whatever the case may be, because I entered because I believed in this trade. Not because I entered, because you actually believed in the trade. And then this could be a moment to take profit or to get out or whatever. But I'm still patiently waiting to see if it could actually, you know, pull back and hold up a bit higher. For now, I'm still in. But we'll see what happens in around 5 minutes from now when we close this 50-minute candle. Okay? For now, from an order flow perspective, you see this box, guys? Let me know in the chat if you guys understand these boxes that I've been marking out in the last 11 episodes. This is something that I haven't seen anyone do yet. To be honest, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it. Okay? I haven't seen it in this way, at least. This is something that I personally discovered. I'm still learning about it, so don't call me an order flow guru. I'm totally not a guru. I'm just here trying to observe and learn and get better. But I notice when we see these trapped sellers, where there's more selling and we close the candle bullish, it tends to utilize these sellers and turn that into support. Okay? As well, when sellers stepped in aggressively with a lot of volume here, what did this candle do? It tapped into this, and then it got rejected initially. Do you see that? So I'm paying a lot of attention to these boxes. This is on the hourly time frame. Look at that. 2 aggressive selling. We closed above this aggressively, and it turned it into support. This is why we entered there. We had an additional confirmation with like the other tools, but this is kind of the idea from like an order flow perspective. So right now there is no reason for me to close the trade. Okay? There is not really a reason for me to close it because we are still here and we're still holding above these sellers. Okay? We're above the VWAP, we're above the sellers, and it's supported, right? It is supported right now. So I don't see a reason to close the trade yet. So it's not just, oh, we are in overvaluation here, so oh, now I have to close the trade. It doesn't really work like that, right? It's all about a series of confluences that we look for. That will help us tremendously here. That series of confirmation, a series of confluences, sorry. On the 50-minute, we have probably, like I said before, the best entry of the session. The best long entry of the session was at the 57. Definitely. Yeah, it's still holding up so well. This 2-minute candle, or sorry, this 5-minute candle will be very important. This 50-minute candle will be very important. Okay? 2 minutes. Is it too late to enter? Actually, if you wanted to enter, the entry was at 94. Okay? 94. Probably around here. At 94. And then stops at 83. I just wanted to see that deeper pullback into the 76 because it had such a strong hourly confirmation right there. Right? That was my thought process. But hey, if it goes, it goes, man. If it goes, it goes. If it goes, it goes. That's around 60 points right now. For traders, we're looking for the best prop firm. What is the best prop firm? Right now, I would say I really like Fun It Next. I think they're killing it. Okay, they're absolutely crushing it. They're still one of the biggest. They have futures now as well, of course, which is great. And they have something called a rapid challenge. I'd recommend to dive into this if you're interested in it. It's one of the better things, actually. The rapid challenges. Really quick payouts here. But anyways, there are a couple different prop firms that are very nice. I'm also funded with Topstep as well. I have $450,000 in funding on Topstep. 450K. But yeah, we're just trading. We're just chilling right now. We close this candle in 50 seconds. This 50-minute candle. Krusty Axelrod says, to be honest, it's a trade to hold for this week. It's true, but, you know, manage your trade accordingly, man. If you're willing to take that risk, you can. I never would tell anyone not to. If you look at the daily time frame, yes, it's a beautiful entry in the daily candle, right? Clearly. It's a beautiful entry. But this is what I'm trying to say, like, don't get too greedy in these market conditions, man. The could've, would've, you know, most of the time it doesn't play out, it doesn't work out here, okay? But there are a lot of ways where we can get into really beautiful entries. But right now, we do not have a structural shift yet. We're still bearish on a higher time frame, right? So we're still not there. Okay, do we have that closure? We do have that closure here. Yeah, we do have that closure right now. I think I'm gonna manage the trade now. I think we're at a point now where it makes sense to do so. Because pulling back to the 76 again and looking for the re-entry now, I'm not willing to stay in the trade forever either, to be honest. So I'm gonna probably trill my stops to the 80, what was it? 86. 86. Because I think we're slowing down right now a little bit in volume as well. 3.6, 3.6, 2.4 on the 5-minute. 1.4, 769, 906, 793. It's not, there's still volume. But a lot more selling coming in now. But man, buyers are really ripping it, eh? Yeah, this is the VWAP, so it's definitely below that below that selling. Sorry, below that selling. Do we might get higher? I think so. I think we're facing some resistance now as well here from the range before. We're at the point of control here. I'm gonna get out, guys. I'm gonna get out of this trade here. All right. I like the trade a lot. We're overvalued on the 5-minute time frame. We do pull back again. I think it was a really clean trade, to be honest, G's. I think it was an amazing trade. Can we get to the daily highs? Yeah, we can get to the daily highs here. We're still holding up really well here. I just think for this trading session with us here live, I think this was the trade. This was the trade. Okay? This was the trade. I really like it. The total was around what? We closed it there, so we're roughly speaking around. That's a really reasonable position here. Really reasonable trade here. Okay. GG, man. GG. Still holding up though. Even though the dollar has found some support, we're still holding up. The dollar is still weak. So up to you how you manage this trade here. If you took the same trade, if you believed in my entry or whatever. I never recommend people to just join my trades without understanding of what I do, because I don't think it makes any sense. I think you should always learn yourself. You should always take your own hands in matter. But I'm always saying I'm here to teach you how to fish. I'm here not to give you the fish. So if you understand the stand behind the setup, then then it makes sense, right? So don't randomly just follow what I do, because I don't think it really makes sense. It's short-term thinking. You'll not get anywhere in life if you do so. You want to be a leader. You want to be a you don't want to follow the crowd and hope that everyone holds up your hand to you. You want to learn and understand the reasoning. So you can take this system, duplicate it, and continue from there, right? Yeah. Krusty says, I paid my Lombok villa for a year with this trade. My guy, my G. So yeah, if you guys like this kind of content, I would keep repeating it, but it's so important for me. I hope you really understand why this is so important for me personally, is that you can like the video, okay? We had 600 likes in 3 hours yesterday. Now we're already almost at 600 likes. So hey, the momentum is there. We reached around 1,500 views today. That's our record as well. All right, we're heading to the 2,000 live. Your boy's climbing in 11 episodes. 11 freaking episodes. Your boy is climbing, okay? I just need your like. That's all I need. That's the only thing I'm asking. I'm not selling you here anything. I have a book for you. I'm just here to give you some fun content, okay? If you could help me out as a bro, I would highly appreciate this. I would really highly appreciate this. Yeah, a beautiful lesson I think today was, okay, because we got when we lose, we also have lessons, right? So we also should be talking about our lessons when we win. And that is that today's example of being patient was absolutely the best example I could give you today, okay? This is a prime example of how patience pays you over time. And how if you just keep following that process, how you could really get into amazing positions. And even when price goes against you, you have so much more better opportunity to manage your trade, right? To actually get out of the trade on break even, or to cut the trade for a smaller loss, or you have things in your favor, right? So you don't really necessarily are immediately stuck in drawdown. You enter your position, price flips on you, and you're screwed, right? Most of the time, this will not happen to us. To be honest, it happens sometimes. We can't control the market. But the idea of being patient is real. It's very important. So setting these limit orders or waiting for pullbacks, in especially these market conditions, are really important to me personally. And I think today was a prime example of how you can buy at the bottom, right? Take some profits, which in my opinion was a bit too early, and then close the position right around there, right? Okay? Amazing, guys. I'm going to end the stream right now. I think we have done our job for today here. This was a bit of a slightly shorter stream, right? 2 hours and 40. So slightly shorter than the previous stream. But yeah, if we have done our work, our job, we get back to work. We're not greedy, right? We're taking our money, we're taking our profits, and we move on to tomorrow's stream, and then we'll see how it goes. And we just follow up with the same process and go from there. And then we just move. We just make our we move our money, and we'll see if we can compound tomorrow, right? That's what we're gonna do here. Okay. Thank you guys for coming today. Here, let me put on some tunes. Let's get a nice exit. And let's see what we have with us in the chat here. The chat has been incredible. You guys are absolutely freaking amazing. Very, very humble. Okay. Also in the market is very uncertain. You guys are sharp. You guys are focused. You guys are not insecure, emotional. Right? You guys objectively understand why we're doing what we're doing. And I really appreciate that. So really good job, guys. And let's end the stream with that song that we started with today. Peace. Thank you guys. so much. Appreciate you guys.
Play the room, baby. It's about to blow. We be on.